Hi, it's Anne-Marie here. So today I thought I'd just show you some of the things I take out and about with me when I go walking and drawing. I don't take my watercolour paints and leave them at home, even though I've got a smaller set. But I do take some Sharpie pens and a gel pen and sometimes a pencil. My pen and dipping pen, these are reed pens, and my ink, again I tend to leave them at home and work with them in the studio. So what I thought I'd show you today is drawing with Sharpie pen. So I'm going to push these away so I don't need them. This is my little book I take with my faithful Cromer sketches and Sheringham sketches, and I just find a spot and stand around and just make these incredibly quick little sketches. And I often take a photograph as well of the view I'm looking at. I don't always, but I often just do it. I just keep it as reference, really. Sometimes I write down colours of things, but generally I just like to work with line and work very quickly and then move on to another view of where I am, Cromer or Sheringham. So what I thought I'd do is show you how I make these up into a picture. So I've just got to choose one of the drawings, which we could have. That's the end of the pier. That would be quite a nice one to do. So I have got a piece of watercolour paper here ready. I'm just going to move it up a bit so you can see. Now I tend to work in one size. This is roughly A4, probably slightly larger than A4. I think it's 24 by 32 centimetres watercolour paper. And I use my sketchbook, which I'm going to put up there. And then I draw direct. Now I know a lot of artists like to draw pencil first and then go over with pen, but I don't do that because I like the quirky way the drawing evolves and the mistakes that are included. So I tend to work direct with the pen. And so I'm going to use my Cromer sketch here, so it's going to be slightly out of view. So I'm just going to start to draw on here. So this is the end of the pier, roughly, and the end of the theatre roof. And I've just put in some basic lines to get started where things are going to go. This is quite a close-up view, so it's going to be quite large. The end of the pier there, the ramp from the RLI station. Then we have the sea here. I'm going to put the sea roughly there. And then I had quite a lot of waves going across the picture. And if anyone's been to Cromer Beach, you know it's littered with these gigantic stones absolutely everywhere. But I keep my drawing quite simple and add details as I go along, really. And sometimes I draw in extra details after I've painted. I always leave room to sign my work. You can see that I've actually signed it there. And let's do some more drawing of the pier up here. I simplify everything because I know the pier has a lot of details and the railings are curved and I often draw them straight. I don't often draw all the windows correct either, but that adds to the fun of a very quirky drawing. Let's give this roof some extra lines because it comes down. And it comes down here too. So I'm working as quick as I can. Various flagpoles. Cromer Pier's got some strange little things, bits of air venting and stuff on its roof. Don't know what everything is, but there we go. It's got quite a roof that's got these deep lines in where it's gridded up. Let's put some short windows in. And I just, as I go along, just keep building the picture up. I go back. I work all over the surface. I tend not to stick in one place either. Put a bit of a flag in there. I do believe there are some doors and things at the side here. I think there are some big windows. Some of this is from memory. I've walked around this pier hundreds of times, so I do tend to work a lot from memory, and little details like that are quite helpful to pop in. I think this is the RNLI building. Okay, and the posts for the pier are quite big, particularly this end where the ramp goes into the sea. Got a few lines here. More posts. There we go. Everything I do is just simply done. And the picture's building up quite nicely now. There's some more things. And that's some sky. I tend to do quite big fluffy clouds with sky. If you look at a lot of my work, it's got big fluffy clouds in. And you can keep adding details as you go along. A bit more sort of waves, more stones. Stones take ages to paint, so I don't paint them all in one go. There we go. Add some extra little lines here and there. That's really come on. That's quite good, considering it's from my very quick sketch I did that probably took me seconds to a worked up drawing, which I can paint now. So I'll start the painting. I probably won't finish it all on this video because the painting takes obviously the longest to do. But before I paint anything, I like to put in some textured highlights, and I use candle wax. I've got that one, and I've got this tiddly one, I don't know if you can see that, which I've virtually worn out. And I like to use this in the sky, so you won't see where this goes, but you'll have to guess. And I put wax in because it picks up the textured paper when you paint over it, and I'll paint the sky bit first so you can see. And it's just so lovely to kind of give, you know, some other elements in your work. And you almost draw with a bit of candle wax. Looking at the wax on the stones. Right, so that's the candle wax in. I'll get some paints. I use White Nights. This is my palette of White Nights. A little bit scruffy because they've been well used over the years, but I top them up every now and again with some new pans. And these are my watercolour brushes. I've got some very big ones, but these are kind of the middle of the range. I think these are number 8s. One might be smaller than that. I think it's a number 4. Great for sort of some washes. They're no particular brand. I'm not sure what these are. Daler Rowney's probably. Anyway, let's paint in this guy. So this is cerulean blue. So I'm just going to mix it on my palette just slightly to wet it up. And I'm just going to rub it over this sky. And as you see, the wax is resisting the paint, which is lovely. Make it a bit darker here. I work very loose, very quick. I always have done. I think it's from having children. I had to go in the studio while I had the time and work quickly before they came home from school. A little bit of red perhaps in here, just to make this a bit purpley. This bit, this cloud here. And then I tend to stick with a lot of blues and greens for Cromer and yellows, obviously because it's a sea, and then I start to fill in where I want my colours to go. I have to say I don't have much of a plan. My work's quite intuitive, so I just go for it. I'm a very much go for it artist. I'm very experimental, kind of get it done, and sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't, but I think that's the joy of actually painting. Let's get a different blue in here. Ultramarine, I think this is. I think the actual RNLI building is a kind of a brown colour, so I'll put this, I think it's a burnt umber in there. And I'm going to use this Payne's grey. I'm going to use my wax again. Just because the posts of the pier going to the sea are a bit gnarly and battered, I was going to put a little bit of wax in just to give it some texture. There we go, perfect. I think I need some more posts. I might add some more in. I've had one here, make this one a bit bigger. So you can constantly change your work as you go along. Watercolour, people take on watercolour painting, think it's a tough medium, but I think it's brilliant. It can be hard work if you just don't use a lot of water with it. You can't paint with watercolour with a very dry brush. You just don't get a lovely soft effect with it. There we go, a bit of the roof coming to shape there now. Might do this a bit of cerulean blue, this one. And I find this quite therapeutic. I have painted hundreds and hundreds of pictures of Cromer Pier. And various collectors have them around the country. Quite a few people actually have them in Cromer itself, which is lovely. To know. And I have a friend who's got a couple of holiday cottages and it's full of my drawings, so when I go and stay there it's a bit bizarre seeing all my artwork up in one place. Yeah, it's come together quite nicely now. Let's paint this one. So you see, I paint virtually all over the place. I kind of just go for it really. I'm going to put a bit more wax here and make these cross braces under the pier a bit textured. That's it, that's great. Just so it doesn't all look uniformly flat. The pier itself is white. I mean, these bits are actually white. So you can go back with this candle wax and add some more details if you want to. But I'm going to use the cerulean blue again, very thinly. Just going to outline some areas, so it's not going to be totally white. Just going to do it like this. And this is a window here, so I'm going to put a little red shade in. There's a window there as well. Coming together quite well. Let's just highlight the ventilation system up the top here. Put some blobs of colour in these windows. Paint these posts. Okay, so I'm now going to paint the sea, so I'm going to use a Viridian green, I think, for this. I might mix it with some cerulean blue as well. Seen the sea, all different colours at Cromer, blues, pinks, slaty greys, greens. This I've just chosen this green. And then I'm going to go over this. This is the little sort of waves just breaking. And I'm just going to go over it with a bit of this green stroke blue again. I'm not going to totally obliterate it. Just going to put down a bit of colour. And then the stones, well, I tend to do a lot of blues and Payne's greys with the occasional pink one, because again you're looking at a myriad of colours. Let's paint these ones blue. And then I'm going to do the beach. I'm going to use yellow ochre. Quite like yellow ochre. Not too strong. And I'm going to just touch the bits of pebbles I've painted so they run slightly, because you get this kind of grungy sort of beach look happening. That's the water, make the paint move around. There we go. Put some beachy colour in here. I've lost the waves slightly, but I'm not going to worry too much. Got a block there. idea.